Can I call my mom?
Yeah. I'm just gonna pat you down really quick, that's all.
Why the did you pat my daughter down? She's 12.
I'm not saying
So far, we do a 30-year-old male,
it's correct.
conscious.
Okay. In my opinion, was it maybe a mistake? Yeah.
So this started out as a traffic stop, and then this cop decides he wants to pat down a 12-year-old girl, seemingly for no legal reason.
Really quick, I'm gonna pat you down.
Can I call my mom?
Yeah. I'm just gonna pat you down really quick, that's all.
That's all? You think touching someone is not a big deal? Even if you had legal justification to do it, it's not a small deal. I don't want to be touched by cops. Do you? Police need reasonable, articulable suspicion generally to detain someone, and not everyone they have legally detained can automatically be frisked. And during a legal traffic stop, police are automatically detaining the driver and passengers, and they can frisk the passenger based on this if they meet the criteria for a frisk. Cops can frisk someone they have legally stopped if the frisk is necessary for safety, for their safety or for other people's safety. In other words, this can kind of mean they need reasonable suspicion that the person has a weapon on them, for example. Pretty much they need a good reason to pat someone down. And a pat down based on this standard has to be of the outside of the person. Cops can't just pat down someone for no reason. I can't find the full body cam footage, but I'll link what I have found in the description. It doesn't seem like there was any legal justification to touch this girl, and the police department and the supervisor seem to agree.
Officer Avila got a written warning, and supervisors determined there was no reasonable suspicion that the passenger was in possession of a weapon or posed a danger to you or the officers involved.
I'm not saying
So far,
that
we do a 30-year-old male,
it's correct.
conscious.
Okay. In my opinion, was it maybe a mistake? Yeah.
This cop needs to be charged criminally, not slapped on the wrist if what he did was actually illegal, which it looks like it was. At a minimum, this is something like assault and battery, and it's of a child. Also, I think this girl had to go to therapy and get serious help after she got touched by this creepy cop, and the family is planning a lawsuit. Also, here's some audio from a conversation between the officer who did the pat-down and his sergeant.
You seriously patted down that little girl?
Again, I can't find all the body cam footage as of right now. Maybe I'll find more in the future. But what I have found, this looks horrible for the cop involved. Maybe there's additional information and additional footage that would show that some of the stuff I'm saying is maybe inaccurate or would mitigate things, but I doubt it, especially because the police department itself seems to think that this cop was in the wrong. Also, look at this form. It says, it is the department's intent to work with you to improve your ability to perform as a Joliet police officer. Really? When someone assaults and batters a child, you don't say, yeah, we're going to work with you to improve this. You charge them criminally. If this was any other person who did this, who went up to a child without legal justification and touched them, they would get arrested almost immediately. Yet when it's a cop, it takes forever to investigate things, and then there might not even be criminal charges. Hopefully there's criminal charges in the future, because lawsuits don't do enough. There needs to be better psychological screening for cops so this thing doesn't happen in the first place, and there also needs to be better training. But you can't train common sense, and I don't know if he was even taught the law at all, or if he was taught it, he forgot about it. Or maybe he knew the law and didn't care. I have no idea. This is basic constitutional law, so I don't know how this cop missed that day of class if he was ever taught this at all. If this cop truly had an appreciation for the Constitution, for people's rights, for the law itself, then he would have an incentive and he would want to know the law and to follow it. Seems to me like that might not be the case here, so it goes beyond just training. And is this his standard operating procedure? Does he just frisk people every time he detains them? Like, what is the rhyme or reason behind this? Also, I think this girl's older sister was driving, and they didn't pat her down, so what the heck is going on here? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Also, I said earlier, imagine if this was a non-cop who did this, what would happen? And I think we need to keep in mind that it's actually worse that a cop did this than a normal person, because a cop's doing this under the color of law. They're doing it with a badge and a gun and all the power to back them up and protect them, so it's way more traumatizing. Imagine how traumatized this girl is. This is disgusting. And yet, the cops aren't being treated the same as a normal person. If a normal person did this, like I said, they would be arrested almost immediately. Let's see what happens.